all my co-hosts. Oh, you don't know anything about me, do you?
I don't know anything about you, no, but enlighten me.
Okay, here we go. All right, so it's Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, Worldwide TV Network, WomenOnTV.tv. And yes, I have 13 co-hosts, all women, women on TV, lone male out of all of us, and we all like each other and we all get along. So I got to say this, you're on the East Coast, I'm in the West Coast, I'm in Las Vegas, and you're in what country?
I'm in Canada, Toronto, Canada.
I like. I love the Toronto Film Festival. Okay, who are you and where'd you come from? Let's start there.
Well, my name is Aviva Reimer. I'm a transformational life coach and a matchmaker.
Uh-oh.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match.
How did you know I was single? That's right. I remember who you are now. That's right. I remember back in the TV days when we could get together with people. What was her name? She had a show. I think it was on, huh?
Patty Stanger.
Yes. Yeah.
Patty Stanger.
It was Patty, and then it was it was.
Yeah, I trained with her.
Really? Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, she was.
So when I first got into matchmaking, let's just say when matchmaking found me, I had an opportunity to fly out in LA and be on one of her episodes. And so, and we also had a training over the weekend in Los Angeles. And it was all about matchmaking and protocols and, how to run that business. And so I had some of her expertise, which actually helped me quite a bit because it showed me that it came at an opportune time because it showed me that I was exactly where I was supposed to be.
And so where are you supposed to be right now? Are you supposed to be in Canada or are you supposed to be in the US? Because you're in a better country right now.
Well, I am in Canada. However, I am quite connected universally with in North America and overseas internationally as well. So I've had clients, fly to Mexico to meet someone. I've had clients fly to New York to meet someone. Also, across here in Canada to Vancouver. So yeah, I'm very well connected, even in Australia and Indonesia and all over the world.
Uh-oh. So who are you going to hook me up with? There must been there must be something going on that I'm not aware of. Someone must be planning things. It could be Sherry, it could be Eileen.
Well, did you say Cher?
Sherry.
Sherry.
Sherry Nelson out of British Columbia. Yeah, but what about Cher? I know Cher. What about her?
Well, Cher is single, is she not?
Yeah, she has been for a while. Why, you thinking of hooking her up now?
No. But I do know someone that actually, I believe, dated her. He was in my database, or they were friends quite some time ago. Yeah. So, but I think she's amazing, Cher. I would love to match her.
I'm sure you would. That's why I brought it up. I'm sure you would.
I would love to match her.
I could see the wheels spinning in Canada from here.
Oh my goodness. The person would have to be absolutely super outgoing and fun and deep, I think. And potentially also have some kind of a creative aspect.
What are you finding with matchmaking now? It's actually a good time, obviously, but it's also can be a little bit challenging, but I'm sure it's more, there's more positive than negative.
Well, I can definitely say that things have picked up. And I think the biggest reason why, we're always busy, right? But it's even elevated even more now because I think people's expectations and they're doing a lot of reevaluating around their life and what the expectation is to go, like, where do you go from here? And I think it's a really good thing actually, because it's a little bit of a reality check. I think people are appreciating things a little bit more. They're coming to realize a lot of different things. There's a lot of self-reflection, and I think the energy is shifted in that realm. So people are maybe a little bit more grateful. Like I said, expectations are changing, and they are taking matters into their hands and making some big decisions around, the love aspect.
I think that's really good because yeah, I've talked to this has been my best year ever. I saw all of this coming. Nothing stopped us down. I knew there were two individuals coming in. I don't know who they are. One changed path. The other one I'm not too sure about. Um, it's very interesting, and it's not like I didn't warn people 2 years ago because I did, which is why we're having the best year ever for movie reviews and more. And even our team is doing pretty good because I did my best to warn them, and just, as you know, you keep everybody together, you keep it close and tight, and then you all shine at that point. So they're happy because they can see everything that we're doing. I was always thinking on your side and always thinking back to Patty. Um, this would be a great opportunity for a lot of people, specifically now. Everybody is on Zoom or Skype or StreamYard. Everybody is wanting to reach out and kind of hug someone, kind of touch. So this is a great, as you would say, becoming the total package, right? Is that how you would say it?
Yeah. Well,
So I think that would be actually really good. Talk about that. So that's a book that you wrote?
yes, yes. So my book is really it's a little bit about my own journey, but all the experience that I've accumulated over the years and all the things that I've been through, now I get to share that with others going through those things. So I am able to pull them out or support them through my book. The book is really a recipe of uh, particular steps for you to pull yourself out of a very negative place emotionally and mentally. So, but of course, you could be preaching all you want, but unless somebody's ready to do the work, they're not going to do the work. So, but I have a
Absolutely.
conversation with the readers, and funny enough, I have my audiobook coming out hopefully before Christmas. It's in production right now. I got a narrator to work with that, and yeah, there's definitely a lot of things going on. There's two things when it comes to my business. One, I think it's creating a place for people to become more vulnerable, because everybody's more vulnerable. Now, if we were to rewind the clock back to before COVID, my God, to have to explain to someone what it's like to lead with vulnerability was like pulling teeth. Now, this has kind of made everybody raw, right? When you say they all looking for hugs and support and that interaction. But now that we're becoming more raw because we're so affected, even on a subconscious level, we're becoming more vulnerable. Now, what happens when we're vulnerable? We're able to connect, right? Before, people really had to find the courage to be vulnerable because nobody wants to, be first to be vulnerable. And that was a big issue, especially even in our business. Nobody wants to go first. Nobody wants to, put their emotions out there and be rejected, right? So now people are in a position where they're reevaluating that, and they are more vulnerable. So they're connecting a lot more and a lot quicker. So when it comes to matchmaking, when you have two raw people really wanting that connection, and they're now in that frame of mind, emotionally and mentally, they succeed in finding that partner a lot faster.
So how did you meet your significant other?
Oh, he was referred to me for transformation, for personal training and transformation. It was a friend of a friend's, and that's how I met him. Actually, it was I started to connect to him about 3 weeks into our working relationship. And that would probably be the only way that I would, not the only way to meet someone, but the only way I would allow myself to be involved with someone I work with. When it comes to matchmaking, I have a very strong rule of thumb, and my ethics are very strong. So I would never date anyone.
I'm not a dater. So what were your ethics? Because I'm wondering if mine are like yours.
I don't mix business with pleasure. So when it comes to matchmaking, I could not put myself in a position to date any of my clients because they're my clients. When it comes to, because it's a matter of love. Now, when it comes to personal fitness, it's a different story. It's not a matter of love. It's a matter of looking great and building your muscles and, becoming the total package. So if two people connect, they connect, And listen, if I happened to meet somebody, if I was single and they wanted to be a client and there was some kind of a powerful connection, I would never take them on as a client. And there would be a conversation, obviously.
That's interesting. I can agree with that because I've always had a lot of people reach out, and I'm like that bachelor that even if we were married, I would be married to work, unfortunately, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Because when I go to the movies, I like to go to the movies to get away, to be by myself. I just need 2 hours. That's all I need. It's sort of like going to the gym. You just
Mhm.
go to the gym to clear your head, to get your frustration out, or whatever the case may be. Or else I'm used to hooking up people, but I can't do I don't do what you do. You do it on a higher level. And I'm sure your standards are high too.
Mhm.
For me, I'd be a tough one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, why don't we can have some fun with this and qualify you and see, where you stand with, but I don't know if you want to put yourself out there like that for your viewers.
The issue is there would be a lot of people coming. Well, as a woman who goes to the gym, who stays in shape, you don't want everybody coming to you. I definitely don't want everybody coming to me. I like to see them coming the best that I can see. But it's always that one that you don't see
Mhm.
that gravitates you, and you might be a mix.
Correct.
But the thing about
Um,
that now is that you don't have the events. So for me, I like to meet people ahead of time, but I don't do dating. I dated 3 times. Each one of them was worse than the other, especially in California. I was like, I will never do this again. So I don't.
yeah. California and Florida are really, really tough because the feedback that I always get in working with matchmakers there, and I have matchmakers in California, including Patty. Like she's not, she still has her agency and she has people working with her, but what I've heard that it's very superficial over there,
I want
and
to
so it's
change
really
now.
tough to connect. It's really tough to connect. I think everybody is affected now. I think everybody is, maybe whether they know it or not, they're probably in a better position to open up to someone or connect to someone or meet someone that way. Um, but it's tough over there. It's much tougher over there, I've heard.
So how about Florida? How do you see Florida?
Same. There's a lot of money in Florida.
Yep.
So, women have over there apparently have very high expectations financially of a partner.
Yeah.
And very successful partners, men specifically, um, they don't necessarily want to meet somebody that's really all about the financial. You know, they want to meet somebody real, honest, loyal, compassionate, have something going for themselves. They don't want to date somebody who has a certain level of expectation financially. They, um, maybe they're successful as well, but maybe they just have a regular career, which is also okay. Um, and so the value system is maybe a little bit different, right? They want a little bit more substance around emotional capabilities and mindset and maturity levels and things like that.
When did your book come out, and where can people get your book who didn't know about it?
So my book came out about a year and a half ago. It was a year ago this July 13th. It's on Kindle, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, and also on my website on avivareimer.com.
Hey, books are always important. The way everything's going, whether it's Simon and Schuster or Random House, you know, you always need to have this. I've been that person where I remember getting 3 to 5 books coming in a week for all the people that I was interviewing back in the day. And that's tough to read a lot of them. So I always wanted to make sure I read everybody's autobiography and things like that. I still love the hard copies. I'm still a book reader, but I still have to watch movies. So you know how hard to juggle that is. If I'm doing 2.5 movies a day and then I'm trying to figure out how to read a book, I have to go outside into the wilderness to read. I don't want to be bothered. Just
Yeah.
2 hours just because I want to read, you know. I'm fascinated by people's history, how they overcame adversity, you know, how they became big in the world of fitness. Those things really matter to me, and it's really important when it comes to that.
Right. Well, I found fitness at a very young age. When my ex-husband, before we got married, you know, we were boyfriend girlfriend, and he broke up with me, and I had to, you know, I took it really hard, and I had to find myself and reinvent myself, and that was probably the one thing that really saved my. Sorry. It saved me, you know, mentally, emotionally. I was doing like 2 advanced classes a day, and I found it really, really powerful for my confidence and what I was accomplishing internally. So now that is a big part of my programs now. It's a big part of my coaching now. And I don't mean coaching physically necessarily. I do that, but more so, you know, I'm a professional coach, a couples coach, and a dating coach. So, you know, people are being coached on different things. It could be business, it could be personal, it could be as simple as how do I stay organized? Like it could be smallest little things. But that is definitely part of my recipe, no matter what, because as much as it helps the body and health, it's really all mental for me. That's
Right.
the biggest part of it all.
I had a lot of people going through things.
The discipline,
Well, I always said a lot of people went to the gym,
you cut out there.
minds back together, because that was a way of going back and just, I know, pumping iron or just even being flexing and stretching out was a way to get their mind set back together. And a lot of people, and I would always tell a lot of the people this, they didn't realize, you know, a lot of people in the world came from anxiety or being depressed, but it was working out in the gym that helped their mindset.
Yes, for sure. And it's a big, it builds your confidence too. You know, people that grew up with a lot of self-worth issues or insecurities, for them to see, you know, their bodies change and how they're looking better and feeling better, you know, it reassures them that they can have more. So that's another reason why some people start going to the gym, you know, and then they realize how much it's helping them in that department as well.
Talk about the transformation of things. Why is that important today, especially now?
Well, it's all about self-reflection. Self-reflection taps into a lot of things that you may not be aware of or not know. It's what you don't know, you don't know. So uh, that's why personal development is really huge. You know, there's a lot of things that you can discover about yourself that you can have an understanding for that you didn't before. The way we were conditioned as children, you know, the things that we've accumulated over the years up till now has a strong impact on our relationships going forward. And a lot of people are really wrapped up in their lives, whatever that may be. Some people are workaholics. They don't stop long enough to maybe have that balance or to even look deeper. Some people just, you know, they're on a hamster wheel and they think this is just life. This is how it's supposed to be. There's no other way. So, you know, unless you crack open that door of wanting to know more, about why you are the way you are, or why you react a certain way, or why you do the things that you do, or why you feel the way you do. It can have a really significant impact. And it's kind of like a lot of people are just not aware. They just think it's life.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to life that you don't know, if that you will never discover unless you start doing some of that digging.
Tell us, why should people reach out to you? What makes you special? Because I know
what makes me special?
Yeah.
I am really dedicated to my clients. I will literally show up at your door and I will hold your hand through your whole journey, because I know what it feels like to be there. I know what it feels like to want to have someone there that can just pull you out of that ugly black hole that you feel you're in, that you can't get out of, right? Emotionally. Like, people can't even think, let alone think of the right things to do when they're really depressed or been emotionally abused, that they don't know how to get out of unhealthy situations. So I'm literally the one that will show up and pull you out of it and support you all the way through. So people can call me anytime and I will pull them out of their thoughts. And I'm just very dedicated, and I take it very personally when I work with my clients.
What's your website?
They're all my friends. So I have two websites. One is avivareimer.com, and the other one is perfect-fit.ca. That's my lifestyle introductions firm. And they cross over.
No, I like that. Yeah, because I I have one of my hosts. We've been really fortunate. We haven't had any issues or anything, any stalkers or anything like that, which is good. But when you were single, and what it's like to be that woman, when people are looking at you and all of a sudden they find you interesting, they know what they want. You don't know what their motive is, because there's so many people coming at you. That's the issue. I was like, I'm all about protecting our brand and everything like that, but we have fun. But at the same time, no one has what we have. And hey, it's all about having fun. We can't get to the events like we used to, but that never stopped us, because I saw all this coming. So we turned everything around ahead of time. So when it comes to couples or people like that, we've been helping them. And I'm doing what you're doing, but I don't have the title what you're doing. You deserve the title and you can have that title. It's a lot of stuff. So that's why my hat goes off to you on that, because you are helping people. What have you noticed about people in Canada and outside the US as far as how the couples were dealing with COVID-19? Because I can tell you in the US, they've had a hard time. People that were together for 22, 25, 32 years, they decided they didn't want to be with them anymore, straight and gay.
Yes. Well, a lot of epiphanies. I mean, sometimes, when you're stuck together in a house and there's no balance, nobody's going to work, right? If you already had issues at home, they're only going to magnify if they're not dealt with. And a lot of the issues are not dealt with sometimes for a long time. And that's how resentment builds, right? Resentment, disappointment, you become cranky or angry because, the partner that loves you so much is not doing the right things, and it makes you feel like, they don't appreciate you. So all those little things that accumulate at times in relationships, right? When COVID or something like this come into play, it's magnified, because now it's just all condensed, and it's not just condensed. Now you're in each other's face. Before, you can ignore it, go to work, pretend like it's not there. Think, oh, that's marriage. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's not the way it's really supposed to be. So when COVID hit, that's what happens. It blows up. So if you haven't done anything about it before, why are you going to start now? You just give up. You basically just give up, because it's such a mountain now, and you got to go way back to that little thing that happened so many years ago that started that. And how are you going to find that? How are you going to back up that far? So for a lot of people, it's easier to just sail.
Yeah, exactly.
And when it comes to when it comes to commitment, I mean, nobody really worries about commitment until you start struggling. When you start struggling, your commitment, that's when it gets tested, right?
Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Nobody ever talks about
Um,
happy things happening. Everybody always talks about all the terrible things happening. I don't know what's more exciting. I don't know. But, you know, on the news, do you see people talking about how, you know, somebody helped somebody on the street or helped them out of the car, or was paying it forward for someone? No. All you hear is the negative nonsense, which I highly recommend you turn off.
exactly.
Yeah.
What are you saying to those single women? What are you saying to those single women right now? And what are you saying to those single men right now?
Well, there's all kinds of single women out there. Be vulnerable. Be vulnerable. Take a risk. Be yourself. Say what's important to you. You got nothing to lose. Look what's going on around you. The right person will respond in kind.
Oh, that is such a great message. That is so true.
Yeah. The right person will respond in kind. The wrong person won't.
Right.
That's how it is. And it could be somebody's issues that why they react or respond a certain way. Might be the wrong person. So, but the right person will respond in kind. That's how you know the difference.
I loved your message on that. That is so true. You're the only one that I've heard that said that. I say it in a different way, but I love the way that you say that. See, that makes me even want to promote you even more. And I am going to get your book, and I haven't even read it yet.
Oh, it's a good book. You know, I tried to shine a light on, you know, I'm trying to take people out of their own little box universe, I call it, right? We're all living in our own little box. I have my own little system. I come home, I have my things, I have the way I live my life, the things I do, the things I like, whatever. We all have our own little circles. We all have our own little lives, right? And there's so many people in the world, and they all got their own little box. Could be friends, family, issues, good things, bad things, you know, their views, expectations, all that stuff. And every time you meet somebody new, you're getting introduced to their own little world.
Exactly.
And that world consists of all the things that have happened to them since they were young, that have accumulated and have molded them into this individual. Okay? So imagine meeting all these people with all kinds of different expectations, rules, values, belief systems, taste, and you got to figure these people out. So you have to know how to ask the right questions to find out what kind of box that is and what kind of energy lives in that box, because if that energy is completely different than your energy, it's not going to work. But you got to find a similar energy that is complementary to you. So the box has to have like similarities for you to be able to coexist. That makes sense?
Oh, absolutely. I it totally makes sense to me, because I go by energy.
Yes.
People.
It's all about energy.
Yeah, it is. And they go, so what are you going to say when you do this interview? Or what are you going to say for that? I'm like, I don't know. It depends what the person's like when they walk into the room. I'll go by off their energy, because here's the thing. I've done over 81,000 interviews in the since 1982. There's very, very, very few people that have done that many interviews that are still alive. And the whole thing about that is, you know how to adapt, to adjust to a new change. And if you can do those two things out of the three, you'll be okay, which is what we did. We started everything around 2 years ago. But if you can't do that and you're behind the 8 ball now, this is how depression, anxiety, all these things manifest. And that doesn't mean it wasn't there. It was just buried deep down. But as when COVID hit, everybody kind of started from ground zero. We were ahead because, like I said, I saw it coming October 3rd of 2018, but really May of 2018. I picked Kamala Harris and Joe Biden in May 2018. And I stuck to that, and I actually won my bet with my partner. So I'm good at seeing
Really?
coming, but at the same time, you have to wait for the official results. You have to wait how things are going to play out. It might not look too good today. Tomorrow it changes, and that's where it is. So my hat goes off to you, to the things that you accomplished. Congratulations on your book. I'm going to get your book, believe it or not, now, because I'm curious what's inside. I like what I'm hearing, but I do want to read that, because I'll be able to take a little bit of your message and give it to people that I know that need it. I've got a co-host.
Yeah. And that's why I wrote it, because I coach people, I share with people all the time, and I give them I shine a light on a specific perspective that they may not have found themselves. And when you have that shift, things start changing right away. Your mind opens up to new things that you didn't think could exist for you.
Absolutely.
And that creates change, right? So because if you change nothing will change. All these things are in my book. Like, I have some great quotes you can use. I talk about fitness.
That's a good one.
In dating, what flies, what doesn't fly. I talk about integrity, what it means. I talk about routines. I talk about a great way of thinking. I give people different perspectives as to how to deal. What is really rejection? Play the reject. You can find out about the rejection game I have in there for men. There you go.
You got me sold on that. Hey, I like your when you change nothing will change, because I say when you change the way you see things, the things you see will change.
Correct. Very much.
Yeah. Yes. See, if you weren't married,
people have to be ready.
If you weren't being married, you'd be dating me right now.
What sign are you?
I'm a determined Libra.
What sign? Libra. Okay, so you're just after me then. I'm a Virgo. My best match is actually a Capricorn. Well, it could be anybody. It all depends on what's here and here. But Capricorns, I get along with very well, and same with Aquariuses.
Yeah, that's true. I always had problems with Aries and Taurus. I didn't know how to handle them. Now I know how to handle them. It took me a while to figure that out.
Stubborn, very headstrong.
Oh yeah, I didn't know. It was just this is at the beginning when I started getting into that, because when you're in California, signs start coming into play and everything. You're getting all these different personalities coming from around the world, and they're coming to change what they left behind. So you're dealing with a new one, as you know this. I'm sure it's in your book someplace, but then you start to figure out the old one was never really left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I could never be an actor.
Yes.
I worked so hard on being me. I don't want to be pretending to be someone else.
Mm-hmm. So you work a lot?
Oh yeah. We had Black Friday coming up and Thanksgiving. I'll be working on my stuff. We have 6.4 million views a day and counting. We have out of Tennessee alone, we have 3.9 million views. Our YouTube, wow. 1.2 million. And like I said, 13 co-hosts, all women. It's a lot to manage all that, but we like each other, and the girls get a chance to celebrate, because when they like something, I put everything towards them. And if they like something, I want to get it for them. So never mind me. I'm like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. I think that's great. Just make sure you find some balance for yourself, because if you're doing such great things for so many others, you need to make sure that some of that's coming back to you to continue to do what you do. So make sure you have that balance. You deserve it.
It has been coming back, and that part is being slowly but surely worked on in a good, positive, solid way. I couldn't say that 2 years ago, because I was still shedding a lot of what you were just saying, helping everybody. Now I know how I'm much, much better. I have more female energy because I learned a lot from what women like, what they don't like, and how to deal with it. And I'm working on the balancing of the more male energy. It's getting there. Still working on it, but it's getting.
Yeah, that's great.
Give you a website.
Women are very powerful creatures. We're all women are connected by a common thread. You know, a lot of us are very highly intuitive, you know, we're just created a little bit differently than men. And
I've learned a lot from you guys.
if everybody would just take so, you know, if men and women would just take the time to really understand the differences and accept them, you know, more often we would get along than not get along when it comes to longevity of marriage and things as such.
Well, here's
because, you know,
that's interesting.
it's always great at first.
I knew
And then we stopped doing those things.
I knew my sophomore year that I wasn't going to be married until I was actually 30. However, I didn't know as I was 32 and going up that I would, you know, things change and you like to say, nah, I see all my friends going through stuff and they're having kids and they're not sure they want to have kids. And some of them are good parents, but not good together. I said, I would never want to go through that because I always believed that marriage was, you know, forever. So until you find that right person, why get married? And then maybe you can live with that person, but maybe you may not want to be married with them, but you can coexist. Maybe, I don't know. I saw all those things and I said, nah, let me be the lone Black guy in the world of entertainment that's not married, that doesn't have 2.5 kids, who's ever been divorced. That's me. There's only one of us. There's
There's all kinds of people in all kinds of different situations. There are married couples who live in different homes.
Yeah.
And it's a decision they made for each other together because they wanted to keep a certain level of excitement in their life or space in their life, and you know, things to bring to the table when they're together. And they're married and they're loyal, but they live into different homes. I mean, there are people in all kinds of different situations, and if you know, you can make the rules within your relationships, just both people have to be on board.
Exactly. Well, that's the whole thing. Yeah, I believe in sharing and I believe in caring, and it's a work in progress. So that's why I still say that you better be able to make that commitment. And I believe, you know, if you are going to be married, it's supposed to be forever. That's what the words say. So I always thought about that. So I said, if I can't make that happen like that, I wouldn't want to give it 2 years and it doesn't work. That's not helping anybody. That's what I saw.
I to all the single people, for example, I would say, you know what? Keep an eye out for only positive individuals, whether it's friendships or relationships, any kind. Positive people. You notice somebody like always negative?
Yeah.
There's some kind of seed in there that's pulling them down that they haven't addressed. So look for people who, you know, if you're down, will lift you up. Look for people who are, you know, don't sweat the small things. Look for people who are have a positive energy about them, and you'll be a very happy person when you surround yourself with that kind of environment.
And with that note, give your website and your book one last time.
So the name of the book is Becoming the Total Package. My website is avivareimer.com, and everything is, all my social media is under Aviva Reimer, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can find me basically under my first and last name. And that's about it. And
with that, Aviva, one, I love your name. Two, I can't wait to get your book, and I'm even going to buy it. I'm so spoiled. I'm used to having everything sent to me, but I'm going to actually order your book. So that I'm Brian Sebastian.
You get out of the book.
Huh?
You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it.
I know I will. I mean, I like what you're saying. Those things are important. It's got to be about positivity. And as I would say, if you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours because the world needs it. And with that, I'm Brian Sebastian. Views and More, Worldwide TV Network, WomenOnTV.tv, iHeartRadio. We will see you next week.